Hello Milky friends, it is MelkStehul here with you for another Idle Heroes video. It is 4 days until the supposed Chinese New Year event. Don't know how true that is. Hopefully it does come true. I mean, they've already leaked it on their website, so if we go to... Yes, I've been watching Zeals. If you go to their Idle Heroes website... Sorry, not website, Facebook page. They don't really have a website, but if you go to the Facebook page, they've actually already spent out a spoiler. They said the event will last 30 days. There's going to be a growth plan. Sounds like a financial planner helping you grow. It's not really a growth plan. It's more of a money extraction plan. But that's not very PC. But they will be extracting money from me and many others. And so if you do a certain number of daily quests, you're going to get apparently monster materials, heroic scrolls, and orange artifact shards, which is pretty nice. And look, I'm being cynical, but they're probably going to give that away for free, right? The stuff that will cost gold will be what's in the Festival Goods store. So apparently you can start trading stuff for relics, gems, and for the first time ever, gold, which is super interesting, because if you can start trading stuff for gold without knowing what it is, because it could be complete junk, if you can start trading stuff for gold, then my advice to everyone is, look, this wishing coin event, just use all your coins and try and get as much gold as possible. Certainly, that's what I'm going to be doing. Only because, look, is there ever going to be a better wishing coin event? I don't know. There probably will be, right? But what I do know is, for a fact, that you're going to be able to trade stuff for gold in a couple of days' time. And so, I would rather have more gold than less gold. Because I know that for a fact, as opposed to the first question, which is, will there ever be a better wishing fountain event? The answer is yes. I don't know when that is. So in the absence of knowing when that better event is, and therefore should you use these coins or not, I would almost say just fucking use them. Similarly for these super wishing fountain coins, where I have, come on, load. I have 80 of these puppies saved up. I don't need Heart Watcher, and I'm not going to refresh until I get a hero I need, because I don't need the copies. I just need food. I'm just going to keep going. I know I'm never going to get the hero, so I've just lived with the fact. So now I'm just about gold extraction, right? So this is all good. I'm just going to do this until I get as much gold as I can. And the other exciting thing while we're spinning, we can spin and talk, people. Spin and talk. Multitask. Is the fact that you can get puppets, and that's exciting, right? So I'm definitely gunning for the puppets. I don't really need more artifacts. I just need food. So if they're making it easier to get food, I'm all for it. And so I think the reason why they're giving more food is, as I said in my last video, the meta of the game has very much changed from PvP, specifically sort of 6v6 PvP, to now in the world arena. It's very much about... you just need a fuck ton of heroes, right? You can no longer win. I mean, you can, right? You can burn through a whole lot of tickets if you really wanted to, and try and win with just 6, not enough coins. Anyway, we spent all our coins. Super wishing fountain coins. In World Arena, you can probably get to the top if you really want to, if you had like a boatload of tickets with just 6 really strong heroes. But the reality is, at the very top, you need like these crazy teams of... Look at how many E5 heroes he has. All right. Okay, you're never going to beat the top guy, but even if you look in the top 100, let's do top 50. So number 50, how many E5s? So this person's got a ton of E5s, a couple of E3s, but the meta has very much changed from that one solid team of 6v6 in Crystal Crown League to... Oh, and by the way, for you Tara fanboys, I still think Tara's shit. Tara needs a buff, but I've been losing to these teams with double Garudas and Horuses using my GVE team. GVE is like completely out of the meta. Basically, it's whoever's got the most Garudas, Horuses, and anyone else but a Tara. They're winning. Certainly trashing this team I have. And you can argue, yeah, you haven't built it right, blah, 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 blah. But look, I've gone from speed HP to the one that Zeals uses or tests with, the holy damage one. So we look at, okay, maybe attack. I can't get holy damage, but attack is the next best after the stone with holy damage. All right, Antler's Cane. I'm losing. Tara's not there. I mean, you can argue, yeah, part of the lineup, or if you have two or more Taras, is very good. I'm not going to build two Taras. As simple as that. Two Taras just to win, 6v6 PvP. Forget it. I would always build a Secondator before I would build a Tara. A Secondator will help me in Brave Trial. Secondator will help me in Zealand. Secondator will help me in Dungeon. Secondator will not help me outside of Arena PvP 6v6, specifically Crystal Crown League. So it's a fucking waste. I'm sorry, devs. I know you watch this, but that's where I'm at right now. You got to do something about it. Otherwise, I'm regressing Tara, and I'm going to make it a very public video. Anyway, this event's coming. Get as much gold as possible because they've just told you can trade stuff for gold. So logic stands. In the absence of knowing if there'll ever be a better Wishing Fountain event, just use all your coins up. That's what I'm doing. So that's the first thing to talk about, the fact that this is happening. Then I guess I wanted to answer a question that I got in my video. So Roshun wrote, people that played the first game when Idle Heroes came out said that they just killed the game. They have a new game, Ode to Heroes. I'm thinking they might be transitioning to that game. Thoughts? So if your question, Roshun, and by the way, thanks for watching and commenting. If your question is the game in decline? Almost certainly, yes. The game is probably off peak. Are they trying to shut it down or milk as much out of it as possible? It's hard to say. It's hard to say if the game is the game is always perpetually in decline. That's why they merge servers. That's why they introduced World Arena, right? Because I think in the absence of merging way more servers, which is I think kind of messy and hard to do, World Arena gets around the merging of single servers. It gets around that in a way because this is effectively one mega server merge, right? So that's the first thing to note. You can never tell. They would never tell you the game is in decline because if they told you this game is dying and there are less people playing, people would stop spending in a heartbeat. Because why would you want to play a PvP game effectively, that you knew that less and less people are playing, there's no more competition? Why the fuck am I bothering? The moment they tell you the game is in decline, it'll lead to a death spiral because people just stop playing. And if people stop playing, they're going to stop spending. If they're going to stop spending, the devs are going to stop investing time in it, right? So if the first thing is, they'll never tell you the game is in decline in terms of the number of people, active people playing it, right? So the only thing you can really do, and part of the reason why I was watching Zeal's videos, I wasn't actually watching all his videos. You can tell which ones I've watched. I selectively watch his videos. I mean, they're perfectly good and they're perfectly fine, but he's cranking out a lot of videos now. So that makes my next point really hard to tell. The other way you can tell if the game is in decline is the number of viewers that Seals is getting for each of his videos. So you're looking at like 4, 15, 13, 17, 17, 27, 21, 10, 16. And you compare that to like a while ago where he's sort of getting 20s, 13s, 10s. Look, it looks like not a lot has changed. The trouble with Zeals is he's cranking out a lot more videos more frequently now. In the old days, it used to be like 1 a week, maybe 2 a week. Now he's doing like 3, 4 a week. So he's split that viewership across more videos. So just looking at the last few videos, it's hard to tell based on viewership whether or not the game's in decline because he's just cranking out so much content now. Good for him. And a lot of that content is great. So that's the first thing I do. I look at the number of viewers for his videos. Just to get a gauge of whether or not the game's in decline. So that's the second thing, Roshan. It's whether or not the games that he's doing rather are in decline. Sorry, the videos. So that's if you wanted a sense check, that's my next, I guess, feel for it. I mean, the other way to work out whether or not the game is declined is just to look at the kind of people playing Crystal Crown League, right? And this is very personal. Crystal Crown League, if you look at the sort of it's hard to tell because the server's just reset, but when I look at the kind of people that are playing and who's left and who's still here, that's also a good gauge. There are some old names in Crystal Crown League that are no longer there. They are still playing, but they're playing a lot less frequently. So they're definitely spending less or not spending at all. So that's the other third point. So you can triangulate whether or not the game's in decline. But whether or not you can tell based on I think you raised this point because in my last video I said, look, they're coming up with a lot more different kind of value packs. Like these, it used to be in the very early days that you would never, it would just be the Wishing Fountain event where you would just get, these would literally just be the only value packs you could buy. But now, every week, what we're seeing is these additional weekly packs that are tied to the event in some way that are outside of, I'm going to call it the special event packs, right? So this Spring Festival card, this used to never not be the case, even outside of Chinese New Year. If you go look at the last few weeks, every week there was always a very specialized pack that was much better value than these, but never as good as value as the VIP card. Outside of that, they've also introduced what I call these daily packs. They've also reinvigorated the weekly and monthly packs. And so because of that, I think you're probably asking, well, why are they giving away so much stuff? It's kind of like Apple. Apple know they don't have to give shit away, and they never discount because they know the product is great. And so they don't discount their product until the new product comes out. And even then, they don't really discount it that much because they know they've got something great here. So similarly, you're probably thinking, well, Idle Heroes, if we've got a good game and it's addictive and people like playing it, why do we have to update these monthly value packs? These monthly and weekly value packs. Why bother introducing a daily pack? Are they in cash extraction mode because the game is in decline? It's hard to say. Maybe, like I said, because in the game early on, there were really only two kinds of spenders. There were basically the people that bought the VIP cards, so these monthly cards, and I think there were people that bought maybe these value packs. And then they probably realized that. Someone probably finally did the math and gone, hang on, there's only really two spenders. There's the really, really heavy whale spenders, and then there's the light spenders that only buy the VIP monthly cards. What if I try and come up with, I guess, different value packs, different price points for people, because then I can capture more of the value pie. And so this is like an economics thing. If you do economics, this is the classic airline problem, right? Supply and demand. Ideally, you would charge everyone. If you had to price airline seats, you wouldn't charge everyone $100. That's the easy thing to do. If you had perfect information, you would basically charge everyone, if they were buying an airline seat, exactly how much they value that airline seat. Some people would value it for $1, so you charge that person $1 if you had any spare seats left. Some people would value that seat at $110, another person would value it $200. If you had perfect information, you would charge basically everyone the fair amount. And the only way to do that is to come up with many different price points for an airline seat. And increasingly in airlines, if you didn't know, based on your cookies, which is why when you buy airline tickets, you should never log in and you should just go incognito in Chrome. Increasingly, they're using data to price airline tickets in real time at your price point. They're price discriminating a lot more and more now. And so they can't do that in this game. Well, I mean, they can, but then there'd be an outcry. People are like, well, hang on, how come you can get value packs for like $1 and it cost me $5, right? That'll be an outcry. So what they're trying to do here is they're basically trying to offer things at as many different price points as possible, just for people to self-identify. Okay, rather than VIP monthly card, I'm also a VIP monthly card plus I'm a semi-daily pack buyer. So the person that's done the analytics obviously realized this. Look, there's only really two pools of spenders: people that spend a fuck ton, and then there's people spend once every month. There's probably a couple of people in the middle that want to spend somewhere in between, but the range, the selection of stuff in terms of value for money just isn't there. And so they've just done this. That's why I think personally speaking, I think that's why they've introduced more ways to spend rather than a straight off, oh my gosh, are they going for value grab? Is the game in decline? And that's why they're just offering up stuff for free. Based on what they're giving away for the amount of money you spend, does it feel that way, right? So that was a very long way of answering your question. Do I believe the game is in decline? Is it transitioning? I don't think so. I think someone very smart has just worked out how to extract more money from people. Do I think the game is still growing? I do not think it's growing as quick as it once was. Do I think it's declining? I think it's always in decline. I don't know what the drop-off rates, but in terms of the number of active users, I don't know. I just don't know, and they would never tell you that, as I've discussed earlier. So anyway, that was the second thing I want to talk about in this video. The third thing that I want to talk about was the event. Back at the event, the Chinese New Year event. Just remember, right? So even though they're probably going to be super generous and give all these things away, and you're going to be able to buy these goodies from the store. Remember, this game is a game of relativity, right? If they gave the same rewards to everyone else, or the same opportunities to everyone else, theoretically, none of you actually gain, right? So this goes back to my aura discussion, or I forget which video I did, where I basically said, this is how inflation works. If everyone is given $100, no one is better off. You do realize that, right? The only way you can get better in this game is if you through asymmetry, either strategy asymmetry, lineup asymmetry, or just what you buy asymmetry, right? So this stuff that they give away is to make everyone feel good and stay in the game, and I think that's a smart thing to do, because I think the longer you stay, the more you're willing to spend, or certainly the people that are willing to spend, if they see people drop off, they're going to stop spending because they're like, well, this game's in decline. So this is to keep people in the game, and I think that's a very smart thing to do, even though that no one actually gains incrementally. These guys aren't actually losing any money by giving this away, just so you know, right? Because they know that they have to keep people in the game, and by keeping people in the game, it keeps the spend going, right? So when they give this stuff away for free, you and I feel great. You know, the developers are doing good thing, blah, 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 blah. But in terms of competitive advantage, none of us are gaining any competitive advantage when they give everyone the same stuff, just so you're aware. You might feel good inherently, but if you're logical and rational about things like I am, you're going to be like, well, fuck, hang on. If you all have the same ops, then no one's gained anything. We're still all basically the same. Like I said, that's good. The only asymmetry, as in the only way you can gain competitive advantage in this game, is by having the right lineup and I guess deploying the right strategy in terms of lineup mix and the stones that you use. But most people, because of the sharing of lineups from Reddit and things like that enables, that advantage is very much diminished very quickly because people share the lineups and the secrets. Or even in World Arena, people can see your lineup now. So if you've got a special cheese team with Mims and that fat slug, that's quickly eroded away, right? So then really the only advantage in this game that you can gain is the spending advantage, or, that's effectively it, it's the spending advantage, right? So I don't mean to burst everyone's bubbles when I say, look, you haven't really gained anything. I mean, you do gain stuff. It's an intrinsic feel-good value. I'm sorry to burst your bubble by telling you that, look, there is no real competitive advantage by them giving this to everyone. I guess the other advantage, look, if I really think hard about it, is how you choose to spend your gems, relics, and gold stores, right? Because if you completely screw up and you fuck up by spending on copies of a hero that goes out of the meta, say the Dark Hero is like insanely OP. I don't think it'll be insanely OP based on Tara. I think they fucked up Tara. I think new hero creation is at the point where it's really, really hard now, where unless you just give it like just insane stats straight up, it's just really, really hard with the number of permutations of heroes that they have to come up with something genuinely new and OP. So I think you're going to come up, I think going forward, this is my prediction, they're going to come up with a bunch of semi-balanced heroes. Well, it's going to be harder to come up with OP heroes, in my opinion. I think they're just going to be like a bunch of Taras going forward. So I'm not... On paper, Tara looked good, but when she came out, she was junk because the mechanics wasn't that great. The Dark Hero on paper looks good based on what the leaks that I've seen, but the new hero is also an assassin, right? An assassin never has been good. So I'm going to build the assassin class when it comes out. Going to test it. Going to show it to you guys firsthand. I want to say good things about it, but it's not up to me, right? So anyway, new heroes coming out. I don't think they're going to be as OP as what Valk and Ada were when they first came out. I think they'll be useful in certain situations, but they will no longer be a must-have heroes. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, that's the third thing. You're all getting it, these goodies, and you're going to feel good about it. But if everyone spends in the same way, which arguably I don't think people will. I think certain people will buy artifacts that they don't already have, or copies of heroes they don't already have, which I think is fine and dandy. What I'm going to blow all my shit on is literally puppets. If I've worked out that puppets is the best value and the cheapest source of food, I'm going to go hard as fuck on puppets. Because in this meta, it's more important to have E5 heroes, lots of E5 heroes, than it is to have like artifacts. The relevance of artifacts went out the window when they introduced Interdimensional Arena and Trial. Well, I mean, Trial of the Champions always sort of made Crystal Crown League irrelevant, especially when you look at the rewards. If you haven't worked out by now, over a rolling 2 week period, Trial of the Champions gives you about 66% more rewards than Crystal Crown League. So if you're burning tickets on Crystal Crown League, just think long and hard about why, especially when the rewards aren't as good as Trial of the Champion. I've done the analysis in one of my earlier videos. I'll probably do it again. But just so FYI, I never ever bother with Crystal Crown League. I always bother with Trial of the Champion. And Interdimensional Arena, I'm like, I'm halfway there in terms of whether or not I bother spending time or tickets on this. So anyway, that's Interdimensional Arena. That's the Chinese New Year event. I think we're all excited for it. It's probably the next big event until the anniversary event in June. Anyway, that's the video. I will see you on Friday for Chinese New Year. I'll probably live stream the Twitch to Twitch. So please stay around for that and do watch. I'm basically, because I'm in Australia, as soon as it drops, I'm gonna just do my summons, and then I'm going to build a dark hero. So if you're up for that, stay tuned and watch. If you're not, it'll come out on YouTube. Anyway, thanks and have a great week ahead, guys.